Hey guys, what up? What up? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 text editors for 2018 since it's the new year and might as well do these top 10 lists. They're pretty popular. They're obviously opinionated. So there's really no sort of science or magic behind it. Just the fact that I've been a programmer for like, what, 8 years, something like that, going on 9 years. And this is just kind of what I see in the industry and what people are using. One of the things I want to mention though is that I'm not including the two most popular editors, which you're going to find in in the coding world. Like, so you're gonna have Visual Studio for C Sharp, or Visual Basic. So any sort of C Sharp, you're gonna see a lot of Visual Studio, but it's not a text editor. It's actually an IDE, which is integrated development environment. So it's not quite the same thing. This is gonna be way overkill compared to just a typical text editor. And while we're mentioning it, we should also mention Eclipse, which is basically Java's version of Visual Studio. Once again, that's an IDE, so we're not including the IDEs in this list. All right, so the first one, number 10 on this list, is going to be Coda, and the reason why I have it as number 10 is it only works on Mac, so I don't know a whole lot of developers. I know there's a ton of developers that use a Mac, but I've never used a Mac for my development. But I still will go ahead and mention Coda. Now, obviously, they're talking about Coda 2 already, but anyway, Coda's been around for a while, so check them out if you're doing Mac development, then it's probably a good text editor for you. So the next one I'll mention is Jeannie, and this ugly bastard's been out for a long time. Actually, it looks like, I think 12 years ago was the original release date. It's written in C, and it's just very fast. So if you need something very fast and lightweight, Jeannie, like, it's still being used by a lot of developers even 12 years later. Number 8 on this list is the Komodo Edit product, which is actually made by the guys, my friends over at ActiveState. And this one, they have their Komodo editor, so that can be a little bit confusing. But Komodo Edit is the text editor, and then Komodo is actually their integrated development environment. So that can be a little confusing for beginners. But the only downside with Komodo is that it's actually not free. In fact, most of these commercial products obviously wouldn't be free. And this is one of the few on this list that is not a free product or an open source project. All right, so number 7 on this list is actually going to be a tie between Vim and Emacs, and these are both products that I never use. I've used Vim a little bit. I don't like it. I don't like a lot of old school guys, though. They love this stuff. They love customizing the hell out of both Vim and Emacs, and I'm probably never going to be in that crowd. But it definitely deserves to be listed because there's obviously still a lot of older developers around. I don't know of any too many young people that are new into the industry, like 10 years or less, that are using Vim or Emacs, but I could be wrong on that. I don't see it too much. You can even see that even the website for Vim looks like it was made back in like 1994. And then here's Emacs here. So a lot of people just love the flexibility that it provides, and they have all these like they can use their keyboard. They don't even use their mouse in a lot of cases, and they're just tabbing all over the place and doing crazy shit that I just can't even fathom. But I have both Vim and Emacs tied at number 7 on this list. All right, number 6 is going to be Notepad++, and this might actually I think at number 6 is a pretty good spot for it. I feel like it might be. You could make an argument that it should be a little bit higher because I know so many people that are still using Notepad++. So from a personal experience, I try to keep it like not too personal, even though it's still opinion. I definitely see Notepad++ being used quite a bit in multiple places that I work. So if you ever needed a quick editor, it's almost like this is like the first thing a lot of developers think of when it's like, oh, I need some sort of quick text editor. Let me just go ahead and download Notepad++. So it's completely free and everything. Again, I think Komodo Edit's going to be like the only paid one. Actually, and then the next one on this list does have a paid version as well. So number 5 is going to be Sublime Text, and they actually started this entire color scheme like now you can download extensions for Visual Studio Code, all this stuff, even Eclipse, and hell, even you can even download an extension for Chrome development to have this color scheme. So this color scheme was made popular by Sublime Text, at least as far as I know. I've never seen it before Sublime Text had it out, but it's their default color scheme, and like everybody seems to love it. At least people that prefer the darker themes, but it's very dark, very dark and colorful and everything. So Sublime Text is also great because when it first came out, like it was one of the first editors that existed that actually had support for JSX when JSX was a new syntax. Like it wasn't supported anywhere. This was before Visual Studio Code or before Atom, and Yeah, Sublime Text was like the first person to offer JSX support, so that's why I got involved in it. Now it's not completely free. It's actually free for evaluation purposes, so you can evaluate for as long as you want. But there's a certain there's a certain level of I guess morals there that if you're just like evaluating it forever, then you're probably an asshole, like because you're not going to pay the $50. Either that or you're broke as hell and you can't afford it. But maybe you're not an asshole. I don't know. But anyway. All right, so number 4 on my list here is Brackets, which I like this project here. It actually has almost 350 contributors on GitHub. There's like 19,000 commits or something like that. So it's a popular project. It's all about being lightweight. It's about not trying to give you so much stuff that you're not going to use, like a Visual Studio or something like that. And it's about being able to see your changes relatively quickly. So it's really the benefits of that, but I like how it's also open source, and once again, it's a pretty strong and stable product. So we're going to see Brackets get more and more popular in 2018. So the next one, number 3 on this list, is NeoEm, and I probably have this a little bit too high, but what I was excited about the fact that it was like a drop-in. Really, it's not even a replacement of Vim. It's just an extension of Vim, but it makes Vim so much more usable to me. So that's why I'm excited about NeoEm, and I expect to see this to gain more traction as like more of the older developers kind of exit out of Vim and either move over to NeoEm, or at least, like I said, it's an extension, but it kind of changes the entire functionality and everything. So definitely check out NeoEm if you're interested. All right, number 2 is Atom. This is still one of definitely the popular editors out there. It's actually using it's a web-based environment, so like it does very well when it comes to being able to step through web-based code and stuff like that. So if you want to be able to see your changes real quick or step through your browser using source maps and things like that, there's a lot of built-in support for them to work hand in hand because, like I said, it's a web-based project. Both this and the number 1 on my list are actually using the project called Electron, which is it used to be called Atom Shell, but now it's called Electron. But it's just a framework that allows for cross-platform development using Chromium, so Google's Chromium engine, and Node.js. So it's definitely an option. It can be a real memory hog. Like Slack is written using it. Obviously, Atom, Visual Studio Code, and I think Spotify as well. But it is a memory pig. I understand it's got memory problems and stuff like that. A lot of people pointed that out, but it is a newer technology, so it's going to get better over time. But Atom Editor is certainly a very, very popular text editor. There's so many packages and everything for Atom. It's unbelievable. So number 1 on this list, and it's also my personal favorite, but I've also seen it gaining a lot of traction. If you read Hacker News articles and things like that, a lot of people were talking about Visual Studio Code last year, in the year before. So there's so many different packages and everything, like I said, that make both this and Atom a great option. I think these two are clearly the front runners when it comes to a text editor, and it seems like one either prefers one or the other. So it's like I think there's really not much of an argument between 1 and 2 here as far as text editors are concerned, but whether you use Atom or Visual Studio Code, it's going to be a very similar thing. I prefer Visual Studio Code just because like I like the coloring, I like the packages, I don't know, it just seemed like I had to install less tools and things like that because it was built after Atom, so I think it probably took some cues off of what Atom was doing well and it expanded upon that. But once again, this is all just personal opinion, but those are my top text editors for 2018. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. Bye. Hey guys, so a lot of you asked me, how do I get my foot in the door to become a programmer? And I just want to take a moment to mention Dev Mountain Coding Bootcamp is a 12-week intensive course that focuses on the technologies of the here and now for web development. Some of the things that they're actually teaching in this 12-week course, it's geared to get you into the industry by focusing on things like jQuery, Node.js, React, Angular, how to use GitHub. So a lot of the things that you're going to need to do as a developer, as soon as you start, they're going to be teaching you in this coding bootcamp. And the entire goal is to be able to get you into the industry within 12 weeks. So if you guys are interested in learning more information about Dev Mountain Coding Bootcamp, just check out the link in the description tab of this video. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.